Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking all about which is the best kids tablet. If you're looking to buy a tablet for your child, then you probably already know that there is a lot of choice on the market. Some of those options are geared up specifically for kids, and others have options to make them kid-friendly. This video is geared up at helping you make a decision between the big three options: iPad, Amazon Fire Kids, and Android. I've got some specific examples of makes and models, but the real aim of this video is to give you a real broad brush. Look at those different types of tablets to help you narrow down your search and make a decision. Which is the right tablet for your child is going to depend on a number of different circumstances, such as their age, your budget, and what exactly they want to do with the tablet. My kids are primary school age and have had tablets since the youngest was age 3. So this video is really mainly geared up for parents of toddlers and preschoolers and kids who are primary school age. But I think people with slightly older children, twins, and teens will probably get something out of this as well. Let's kick this off then by talking about the iPad. Chapter 1, the iPad. If you know anything about iPads, you'll know they're expensive. However, they are reliable, they are fast, and they are fantastic bits of tech with great cameras. The processor can handle big games such as Roblox. This is actually an iPad Mini 4 from way back in 2015, so it's no longer supported by Apple software updates. However, it still works, and it works brilliantly for the games that my kids love to play, such as Roblox. There is a huge range of games available in the Apple Store, both paid for and free, and you can set really detailed parental controls via the settings. You can set your child up with their own profile on your iPad if you want to share an iPad with them to get started, and you can have individual profiles for different kids in your house, and you can set different settings for those kids. Those settings include time limits on specific apps, time limits on using the tablet, restricting them from using certain things at all, such as the internet and certain apps. But let's be honest about the disadvantages here, because it is an Apple device. You're paying for the brand, and so it is very, very expensive. Generally speaking, this is the most expensive out of all of our options. Some of the Android tablets, obviously, that overtake or come close to the price of an Apple iPad. Generally speaking, your Apple is going to be the most expensive option. And the other big disadvantage with an iPad is that they're quite easy to break compared to some of the other options that we're going to talk about. And obviously, as they're easy to break, they're expensive to replace. Of course, with an iPad, you can save a bit of money by buying the previous generation of iPad that's generally less expensive than the brand new, most recently bought out version of the iPad. Chapter 2, Android tablets. Okay guys, let's move on to Android tablets now. Now, the specific one that I have here is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. Just like with my iPad, this is also a tablet that my kids have been using in our home. But like generally speaking, like with iPad, if you get a decent Android tablet, you're going to have a fast processor. You're going to have great screen quality. This one is absolutely fantastic for games. There's a wide selection of games in the Android store. Now, obviously, with Android tablets, you have got a very, very, very wide selection of different makes and models on the market. I'm talking specifically about Samsung here. And the great thing about Samsung is that they have the Samsung Kids option. With Samsung Kids, you basically set up the tablet, so it is safe for your child, and you have complete parental control over it. You can set limits, you can restrict certain activities, so they can only play on the apps, use the internet, or not at all. Just everything in the way that you feel comfortable with them doing. Chapter 3, Amazon Fire Kids. Okay guys, so this is the basic setup with Samsung Kids. These are the apps that come immediately sort of available, and it includes a really, really basic browser with some just approved content. So this is not just access to the World Wide Web. There's just approved content here. And then if you want to get more apps, then you can do that via the parental controls. So you can add more than what's here. These are just like the really, really basic things that come preloaded, which are very much child appropriate. Like nothing to worry about here. Again, same descent as with the iPad, though also more expensive than other options that we're about to talk about on the market, and quite easy to break, particularly if you drop them down face first on the floor. Have to confess, I've never broken a tablet. However, I have broken the screens of several iPhones, and it really doesn't take a lot when you drop them on the floor, not even from a particularly great height for the screen to shatter a little, even just like in the corner or across the whole thing. Let's move on now to the Amazon Kids range of tablets. Chapter 4, Key Considerations. So, what then are the key things to consider when making your decision on which tablet is going to be best for your child? Let's start with what's probably the most important one, the cost. If you're on a budget, then the Amazon Fire Kids range is going to be street ahead for you. They are far, far cheaper than the good Android and iPad options on the market. And the fact that Amazon will replace the tablet if your child breaks it within 2 years is a huge plus. The Amazon Fire Kids tablets come with the case that will protect it from breakages, unlike the iPad and the Android, for which you'd have to buy something separately. The next thing to consider is, what does your child actually want to do on the tablet? Do they want to play games that are going to be really intensive? If they are huge Roblox fans, then I have to say I wouldn't recommend the Amazon Fire Kids 8 Pro. However, my friends have got a Pro 10 for their children, and that plays Roblox just fine without any issues. It does have a faster processor than the Amazon Kids Pro 8. What you might want to consider is, what sort of games is your child already used to playing? So if they've already been playing on like your iPhone or your iPad, they're probably used to that selection of games. If they pick up the Amazon Fire Kids, they're possibly going to be disappointed with the selection of games, but also the way the game store is organized on the Amazon Kids tablets. I have to say, I don't like the option for browsing games. It's not as good. It's far, far easier to browse different games in the iPad App Store and also in the Android App Store than it is in the Amazon Kids. Kids can search for specific things, but it's just not as superior a shop front. If this is your kid's first tablet, they are going to be over the moon about the Amazon Kids tablet. There is a lot going on there, just not quite as much as on the iPad or the Android. I really hope that this video has helped you make a decision. I would say that your best budget option is going to be the Amazon Fire Kids. It's a fantastic tablet. There's a lot going on there. Your kids will find a lot to do. For younger kids, the Amazon Fire Kids is going to be your best option purely because you're not going to be panicking all the time about them breaking it. However, if you've got slightly older kids, say 7, 8, and above, you might want to consider an Android or an iPad, just because you're going to get more longevity out of it in terms of the range of content that's available to them on there. And also, those tablets are much faster, better processes, and therefore they're going to be able to cope with games that your child wants to play that are a bit more intensive. Still confused after watching this? I understand why you might be. One of the best options that you could try is to give your child an old tablet of yours to try out. Set it up with all the parental limits that you can. Hopefully, if you've got an iPad or an Android, you have got options to tinker with the settings and make it kid-friendly, set up limits, limit access to the internet, do something like that. And then, like, buy a new tablet for yourself, and then you haven't invested hundreds and hundreds of pounds in a tablet, only to realize, actually, I wish I'd gone with like a really much cheaper option or a different option. Okay, guys, I really, really hope that you found this video useful. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to talk about all of the different options that I have discussed here in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next upload. Bye.